Saw you paint a picture of a face.
All right. Happy Monday, everybody. I slept in today and it was fantastic. It's like just past 9 o'clock right now. I just went to sleep feeling kind of, well, okay, so after you and I talked at the end of last week's vlog, I was just sitting in my chair in my room, just kind of quietly sitting with how I was feeling and trying to just listen. And then my husband came in and we chatted for a little bit, and he's the opposite of I am. So for him, he had very like rigid parents as well, but he went the other direction. He just went the like, I don't care then. And so like now, he does not care whenever he has anybody tell him like criticizing or like just being like an ass, whatever, which is a challenge sometimes in our relationship because he still has that same approach whatever, but that's another topic. That was 2 weeks ago. And so he was just kind of telling me, he's like, I just don't care. He's like, I'm just not gonna let people act a fool anymore. And so like for him, with his family, he just doesn't care about what they think or any of that, because like he already lived through it. He already knew that there was never going to be enough for him to do that would be good enough to meet their standards unless he you know, specifically did everything that they wanted. I mean, essentially like gave up his life to live the way that they wanted him to live. And so I'm like, yeah, but I always felt like I really wanted that approval. Like I always have felt like, you know, when you were in school and if you got the 100%, you got the good grade, or you made principal's list, honor roll, I don't know, like if other people call it differently, like you got to stand there and feel like very proud of yourself because you accomplished this. Like you knew you were at the top, like you reached the goal and you got the reward of like feeling proud. And in the life that I live, there is nothing to measure myself by, because I'm doing things so much different than the way that I grew up, that like my kids don't go to school, so they don't feel the pressure of getting good grades. I don't want them to feel that. And frankly, I just feel like public school has not very much to offer the children that they cannot gain on their own terms. So we have that out of there. And so, and then like when it comes to parenting, you know, I guess I won't know if I did a good job as a parent until my children have left the house, and if they decide to still like keep a good connection with me. I guess as I'm going through it now, I do feel like I have a good connection with my children. I try to talk to them, like we laugh, I do my best to invest in their interests. So I'm laying that groundwork like now, but it's like you become a parent and there's no way to know that you're doing a good enough job. I don't know really like where I'm going with that, other than like I'm asking myself like, why do you insist on wanting to measure yourself? It doesn't matter what it is, if it's your weight, if it's the way that you look, if it's your social media, if it's parenting, like there's always something that you just want to measure yourself by. And I'm like, why would I want to do that? Like clearly I'm already free out of that system, so like what's the rush to run back to that? What did you make?
Butter!
Viv made some fresh butter.
Go, on a potty pack. May I help you?
Ollie, stop. Don't put your breath all over the pancakes.
That's rude. Mom, give me that.
In 7 days, 'cause I've been
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Okay.
Watch out, please, okay? On my hair?
Mom, let's say how you put it in my hair. How do I put my hair?
You don't have a hair clip or anything. I can't put it in your hair. Can I put it in your pocket? That's how it goes. It's not gonna fit anywhere, any other way, or else it'll fall out.
Watch me, just follow every move. Touch me, let me know you want it too. Don't have what you need, but I got what you want, babe. No, we don't have
Ollie!
Don't ever let me go. We got the whole night. Just let me feel you close. Come surround me. Don't ever let me go. Come surround me. Just let me feel you close. Slowly, but don't wait for too long. Just hold me. We're right where we belong. Don't have what you need, but I got
Why don't you use this board to teach us math? Bed for a Barbie.
You guys, the drama of the eye continues. Okay, so look, I had worn my glasses for a few days and then yesterday I was like, I think it should be okay. Mind you, these are brand new contacts that I put in. No, my eye was just like, yeah, that's still not working for me. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm being so stubborn to go to the eye doctor, because if it's time, we could make time for me to go. I have the like plan or whatever to be able to see the doctor. So I'm like, why am I being so stubborn? I'm literally gonna have to make an appointment, so I have no idea what's going on. But it's like, I don't think it's pink eye. It's not like itchy or anything. It just is like so sensitive to light. It's pretty miserable. It does not feel good. So like I'm in here right now with all the lights that I need in order to see, but that are actually like are hurting me. I'm like, ow. All right. So I was gonna make a soup, but I think I'm gonna do these lettuce wraps.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, so bright. So for dinner tonight, I had originally thought to do, we were gonna make these like country style ribs, but once Casey like got home after cleaning the house, the other house, like the rental, not rental property, the like the investment property, he got back and he was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to cook these for dinner. Those need to be like slow and low. I was like, okay, well, I'll figure something else out. And I was gonna make caldo de res, but I like to cook caldo de res, like I like to cook the beef in the Instant Pot for like 3 hours and just let it really fall apart. So, what's up?
Cut something up here.
What are you trying to cut?
I just want to cook something.
All right. Careful, Teddy. Anyway, so I had some ground beef that I hadn't made a plan for yet, but so, you know, honestly, bless Pinterest for helping those of us out that like are super bored with like regular meals. So I found this recipe for Instant Pot Korean ground beef, and I'm just cooking it on the stovetop because I don't really want to mess with the Instant Pot right now. But yeah, so I figured I would make this ground beef and do like little tacos, because we also got some lettuce yesterday. So that's what we're working with.
Try to grab Rita.
So we brought Pup to get her first Pup Cup with us. She was adorable, of course. And then I promised Viv we'd run into the bookstore really quick, so we did that. We ran into the bookstore really quick, got the 2 volumes Viv was looking for, and now we're headed to another pet store because apparently getting straw is a bit of a thing here. And I figured what I've been doing for the chicken coop has just not been working because I've been using the flake for that, and it's just not, like, it's just too sloppy, and so I really want to do straw for inside the coop. So I'm going to get some straw, and then we're headed to Tractor Supplies. Any babies? Not yet. Not. They're ready though, huh? You can look, yeah. They just don't have any yet.
It could be you and I want you now, 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 now. Come let me hold you now. I wanna lay in your arms. Come let me love you now. Yeah, you're the one that I want. I wanna stay here. I wanna stay here with you. I wanna stay here with you. La 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 la.
Alright, happy Thursday, everybody. It is another rainy day in Tennessee. Oh my gosh, my glasses are putting that like pressure back here, but like I kind of need the beanie today because it's raining. Anyways, so we went and ran our errands. I needed to go get the straw. We went to the bookstore. Tractor Supply, there we go. And now we've got a break in the rain and I'm gonna quickly go out to the back. Okay, so anyways, I'm going out to the back right now to set everybody else up. Hopefully they'll be nice and warm. It's looking like it's gonna get warmer next week, so it'll just be for a few more days, but I don't want anybody getting sick, so here we go. So, as you can see, it actually looks a lot better now. Are you gonna start with me? Don't start shit with me. Okay, so it actually looks better than it did earlier. We got a couple eggs, but Casey had to lay all this down yesterday, so. All right, let's take care of it, shall we? Please, just let me do what I need to do. All right. You know what? Even though it's cold and rainy, I love this shit. I don't like leaving the comfort of my house to do this. I'm like, oh God, please don't drop my camera and get chicken shit. Okay, so anyways, I don't like leaving like the comfort of the house, of course, to do this, but like once I'm out here and I'm doing it, like it's actually really, really nice. Like it's been weird because today I've been in like, I can do this shit by myself kind of mode, and not in like a resentful, like any type of way. It was just like very matter of fact. Like first I hung up the Dyson vacuum hook by myself, which required me to put in the like the wall mounts, and I did it all by myself. And normally I would have waited for Casey, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that other shelf. So I did this other shelf that I had in the bathroom with crystals, and I put crystals and oils on it, and it looks really nice. And I put that in another spot where I had a shelf that I didn't like there. And so it's been kind of nice to just be like, you know what, like I used to work as a technician on like heavy welding equipment and like big equipment before, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you know how to do this stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna quit talking so I can go ahead and get on my shit here because I gotta get all this straw put out. But also something that's been really nice is we showed Viv how to give Ollie his insulin now. So she's been helping out with that, and she just asked right now, she's like, hey, the sugar's high, can I give him some insulin? I'm like, yes you can, absolutely. So all that yapping to you know, anyways, let's get moving, shall we?
Oh, I wonder if there's a place where the sun won't go away. Wide awake with an open mind, looking out from a mountain high. I don't know what to do now, need to figure it out, but I don't know how. I hope the wind will carry me and take me away to where I should be. I don't know where I belong, but I keep on searching for my home. There's a hunger in my soul, makes me keep on trying, holding on. Take me all the way, all the way. Take me all the way, and I keep on searching for my home. I'm searching, yeah.
Okay, I feel so much better knowing that everybody's like well taken care of. It was a huge source of stress that like yesterday, I was supposed to go do this all yesterday, but Casey got home late, and you know how like it's still by like 5:30 it's already dark here, so I didn't really have time to do it yesterday. I was super pressed because I was like, but it's cold and my babies are gonna be wet. Casey was nice enough to grab just a bag of flake and toss it in here, so it actually looked pretty good this morning. We used to have the chicken coop over there where all that junk has right now. But I felt like it was too close to the neighbor's side of the fence, and so I had asked Casey, let's just move it to the back, like furthest corner away from them, because we don't have any neighbors. Like our neighbors are over there. That's the next house. So all this property here is ours for quite a while, I think. I think we have more unfenced than we do fenced. Anyways, so I just thought that would be a little bit more considerate of our neighbors since we have roosters, and I just didn't want like the smell or the chickens or any of that to be too close to them. So we moved it over here, and of course this is the lowest point of the yard, so when it rains, which it does a lot here, whoosh, it's all going into the chicken coop. And like, even though we put a bunch of sand here, it just did not work out as we planned. So I'm thinking that like I might have to do like sand bags around this whole area that we have kind of like closed in here, and hopefully that will keep the majority of the rain from pouring in. But I don't know, we'll see. Right now, as long as I can keep them warm with all of this straw, I think they'll be good. It's almost over, so you know, there's that. But anyways, I'm gonna get inside and get these little seed pods started or soaking up so that we can start to plant some of the seeds that we bought today. The kids are really excited. I only bought like one tray at Tractor Supply because we already have a whole bunch. Plus we have not ordered seeds yet, which I'm sure is probably really late, but either way. So yeah, we've got a lot of gardening stuff to do today. It's rainy, and so we're taking advantage of it right now. Nobody's been on any of their devices. Like it's nice. We just came in from outside. You came at me with your
coming to
right now.
So put it. Just call me.
What was that? Where's Dad, Mom? Mom, guess what Dad got? The creme brulee bars.
Man, I almost thought it would be like a puppy. What's happening here?
You gotta take a bite.
I wish it was a puppy.
What is this?
Delicious.
Are you doing? What kind of project is this?
Daddy said.
What is it? What is this?
Daddy said.
That's quite a bit of flour. Is that flour?
Look at color.
Holy shit. Holy Spirit, activate.
Holy poop after bed. Yeah.
Alright, happy Friday friends. I am happy to report that I am about to have a very, very top-notch self-care day. I'm here to get my lashes filled again since last time I went like 3 weeks in between because Casey had a work meeting that he couldn't miss and I had to reschedule. And then after this, I'm gonna go sauna and float, which is gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be really nice for me after all of this like healing and processing that I've been doing. And I find it just very comforting for me to like really up level my self-care practices while I'm integrating parts of myself, because it's just like I feel it as like a very like feel comfortable, like let me do whatever I can to help you feel comfortable and to feel really like safe in this level that we're at. And that's a really wild way to be looking at it, because I'm like, oh, I'm doing that like for myself. I know that that's the whole point of self-care, but my point is that like, have you ever looked at it as like I'm doing self-care as both like my best self and my improving self, to say like, hey, you deserve this. I want you to feel how great it is on this level, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm gonna go in. I am so freaking thirsty though. I'm like, why didn't I grab water? I just kept thinking that I was going to the sauna first, and then I brought this full thing of coffee that Casey brought for me, and how I'm like, I cannot go in there with a dry ass mouth with my lash tech like just so close to my grill, you know? Okay, so I went and got my lashes done, had a good semi-nap. We listened to this podcast called something brain. I can't remember, but I like that it was something different, like just a very interesting approach to like, so I think like what we left off where they're talking about how we like to look at other people and we assume that people are always looking at us in that same way. And I don't remember anything else about that. But it was really interesting. And it's nice, I think, when you allow yourself to be exposed to the things that other people like to listen to, because then, you know, you find something else that you might like as well. So anyways, I got my lashes done. I'm kind of like slowly drinking my coffee that Casey brought. And then they look at this, so fluffy. It's almost a shame to have to hide them behind glasses like this. Hopefully I can get myself into the eye doctor, because I still haven't done that, to get my eyeballs looked at. Anyways, so I'm at the float studio right now, about to walk in. I was just trying to drink a little bit more of my coffee and just kind of chill before I go in, and yeah. Casey's so funny. He goes, I don't know what to cook. I don't want an adult right now. And I'm like, okay, so do you want me to bring something home? I mean, it might be a little bit late, but anyways, that's that.
Estamos envueltos en un juego de dos. Quiero estar a lo tuyo, pero a veces no. De pronto son cosas del destino. Nos mejoramos con el tiempo como el vino. Súbeme la nota, que no se me nota. Ya no estaba ready y fui un idiota. Que hay mucha brisa, se acabó la risa. Ya empezamos el gota a gota. Dame la actitud que yo tengo hacia ti. Yo me pongo inseguro cuando tú quieres estar cerquita de mí. Solo interesadas a quien das besos.
That's not real.
Really good.
Either careful.
The bigger cheese is the really melty cheese.
I bought
That's
both
like-
just
that's
in
like
case
a
you wanted to
seed-
sprinkle this.
That's
on
like a
top.
seasoning cheese you kind of put on top.
You ready, Vita?
In my opinion.
Let me see. Yum. So Daddy put the pizza directly on the counter, and now he's not sure how he's gonna lift it up. Okay. Happy Saturday, everybody. So I woke up, and kind of in the middle of the night, I kind of suspected it. But for whatever reason yesterday when I went to float and sauna, I must not have had, well, okay, so admittedly I didn't eat, and then I had a second coffee before I went into the sauna, and I guess I just didn't have enough water yesterday because after I took the CBD gummy, like I felt that like very uneasy feeling that you feel in your body when you're like over caffeinated, and it's just like not even like the cute kind, like the straight up like miserable full body experience. So that just kind of never went away last night. I mean, I felt a little bit better after we had pizza for dinner, but then this morning it just was like, it was like a very on brand migraine because it's just been a few weeks of healing, and I'm kind of like ready to be done with it, you know, but unfortunately it just doesn't work that way, right? So I'm grateful that Casey took the lead with the family this morning. Anyways, I'm gonna take it nice and slow. I'm gonna start like kind of picking up the house a little bit. Reintegrating myself back into my day. I'm gonna go take my vitamins and my supplements and all that good stuff, so that like taking care of my body. I've already had food, I need more water. Yeah, it kind of feels like a panic attack right now, but we're gonna work through it. I think I've shown you guys like several times, but I really love the Kat Von D Good Apple. I just really feel like the full coverage on that is so good, but at the same time, I'm not crazy about it like for everyday use, only because it is really like really thick, and like I just feel like it can be a bit much. I'm feeling kind of like not great enough to drive, so I'm thankful that she's gonna come pick me up. She's really like just like the best friend ever. I also really love that her and I could kind of like go without talking for a long time and just kind of like checking in or like sending each other videos on Instagram, and like when we do this finally like make a plan to go out to eat or whatever, like I just have such a good time with her. I really enjoy her company. And you know, I don't know, I think sometimes like maybe I'm not being a good enough friend because I'm not like constantly checking in, but you guys, like it's challenging for me, I think, to do that because I can be quite a bit of a homebody, but then at the same time, you know, then I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to go out again, let's go hang out. It's like a quarterly thing with me, I think. Anyways, I'm just grateful that somebody like gets it and understands. Anyways, I'm feeling better about like the anxiety and stuff, and my body kind of has dissipated. It's just like I got up and I started like sweeping the big stuff and like vacuuming, and just like picked up the house really quick. And then and Casey's like, why are you doing that? I don't feel like you have to do it. I'm like, okay. So like blow dry my hair, taking a break, getting up to do my makeup, and probably sit down for a couple of minutes while I'm figuring out what I'm gonna wear. But I don't know. I'm in a bit of a like funky space after just after like all the healing stuff that came up and like with surrender and all of that. Like I think even maybe a little bit with like my business and then like how I share myself with other people, because like I don't see myself as being inauthentic. I always, like, even going through this process, I was sharing a lot of stuff on Instagram, like on my stories of like how I was feeling and stuff, and I try to be honest about that only because I'm like, dude, I think it's really easy for us, even like as a coach, for you to give this like face that you have already figured it out and you don't go through like anything like detrimental to you like that. And that's not my experience. And so there has been a time in which I have felt like I can't share any of that with people, because then they're not going to think that I'm a good enough coach like to help them through their process. But the thing with that is that like I can go through this for myself and like still very much hold space for people where they're at in their lives. And that's been a very like humbling thing, and like really accepting that into my body, because I do really want people to like have trust and confidence in me, and I want those same things for myself. So that's why I do my very best to like practice what I preach. But I'm also like in this space where I'm kind of starting to see myself like feeling like I have to compare, or maybe it's more so this like feeling of like I feel like I'm doing all of the things that I'm supposed to be doing right, and it frustrates me when I feel like you see other creators or influencers or whatever, and they're getting like, they're attracting all of these things to them, and I'm like, but like they're not even doing anything. Or like, I guess I look at it as like, what value are you adding to the world, right? And this is me like showing you flat out like my judginess, which is like, it's not so much that I'm even like jealous of them, it's just that like I feel like I'm doing my part, I'm doing things right, I'm doing things like I'm supposed to, and I don't feel like I'm receiving that same kind of attention. Maybe, I don't know where I'm going with that, so I'm kind of like exploring that. And my friend Nancy asked me a question a couple of days ago where she was like, well, is it that you want to be seen? And I was like, I really feel like I'm above that already. Like feeling like I don't need somebody else to come in and like recognize my value, because I know what I'm worth. I know like what I've been through, like where I'm at. I know what, like the direction that we're headed. And so when I struggle with those feelings of like not receiving attention that others are receiving for like doing less, you know, from my perspective anyways, I'm like, what is that about? Like, get really curious about that. So I had a minute there where I'm like feeling into like what I was saying. And a lot of that I realized really just comes from like school years, where I felt like, you guys, I feel like sometimes you go from like junior high, or like I guess middle school for some people, and you go into high school, and like there's not really a whole lot of like a space between like one day you're a 6th grader, like still elementary, and then the next thing you know, you're supposed to be like a young woman, like fully knowledgeable about like sex and all these things. And I feel like I needed more time, because of the trauma that I had gone through already, to be a little kid. I needed more time to acclimate to what's expected of you as a teenager, as a young woman, as somebody who's eventually going to be having sex and all that. And I don't feel like I really had that. And the one thing that I've really learned about myself is that like my brain has kind of been conditioned to like find the rules or like the book, like the guidelines of how we're supposed to act so that I can just go do that. And so what I learned very early on as far as like developing as a woman, I felt like the quote unquote slutty girls were the girls that were getting all the attention from the guys. And if you dressed that way, you behaved that way, you knew, you know, what people saying at that time, like guys don't like smart girls. They wanted you to be like that, and that was never me, but I acted that way in order to get that kind of attention. And then even then I was still very unhappy because I was having to act some way that was not like my true essence. And that continued for a very long time until I met my now husband, which is crazy. Which I did a lot of work on, and that's a topic for another time. But my point is that, like, I think there's a part of me that recognizes now that like I have a lot to offer, and I think that I was not able to like express that because at that time that's not what was like desired or favorable or like what people were looking for. So I think that helps me like kind of ease into my body even more a little bit right now, where I'm like, you know, it's okay if people are really gravitating towards people that are influencers that appear very bubbly or whatever it is that they're doing. Like, that's their path. I don't have to be like, well, why are they doing that? And I'm over here doing all this. And it's just like an unnecessary comparison, and like unnecessary for me to drain my energy that way. But unfortunately, like, it's not enough to like just be aware of like, okay, now I understand why I'm doing that. It's like making peace with those feelings like inside of yourself when you're creating something on your own that maybe people haven't deprogrammed that enough within themselves, that now I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to be patient. I'm gonna have to like stick to it so that eventually other people will also feel like you don't have to be constantly like selling products or selling anything really other than just like being yourself. I'm like, yeah, but alright, so just finished up my makeup. I'm really obsessed with the color combos with the ColourPop pen with the NYX. So good. Today I'm using Shot Clock paired with Abu Dhabi. I feel like it's just really perfect. And then once I put these little earrings on that I bought at the Girl Gang event. These are from Made by Adelaide, and it's rose quartz. And they're just like absolutely perfect because, as you can see, like I had plugs before. And I just am not really wanting to stretch them back out again. So now we're gonna figure out what we're gonna wear today.
Oh my god, there's no show. Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, are we going at the same time?
Yeah, let's do that, because I'll feel a little better.
We're about to try this escargot. We both never, it's like the whole fucking slug in here.
No shell.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Yes, it is more complicated.
It's not terrible. Tastes fine. This is it, right?
Yes.
My mouth is like, don't swallow that.
Okay, try an oyster.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, how do you...
So you just kind of screenshot it. Okay. Just scoop it. No, you might not like this texture way.
Ah, there we go. There you are,
Okay, so I'm supposed to be going to an event in Nashville for a book signing and reading, and I just am not feeling it. I just like really want to relax at home with my family.
Okay, all right, I'm like in the hall back downstairs because everybody's wilding out right now. I just wanted to do a good job at closing out my vlogs. I decided not to go to the candlelight book event. I just was driving there and I just like was not feeling it. Like I just really initially was very interested in going. It's on a topic that I'm very like curious about, just about like finding the joy in like solitude and being with yourself, all things that I've been practicing, but I just felt like it's just not my time to go there. And I feel like sometimes you just have to trust your spirit when it's like, we're not gonna do that today. I'm like, okay, well, and I really like did a good job. I felt like a thorough job of like checking through and checking with myself and be like, am I feeling like what is it? What's going on? And I just kept coming back to like, I just don't feel like that's where I should be tonight. So I went and got the ticket, didn't win on that, but I did come out with $5. So, you know, there's that. Scratched that and then came straight home. Casey had ordered Mexican and we just like all sat down and watched TV and ate takeout. And for such a thing that you would think is like not ideal, it felt very ideal in that moment and very like just right where I was supposed to be. So I'm about to go wash my face because I'm ready to snuggle in bed. I love you. Closing out this vlog, just feeling very content with where I'm at right now. Maybe it's not where I want to be, where I feel like I should have been, but it's where I'm at right now and I feel really satisfied with that. So yeah, I'll see you again next week, friends.
Hey, Mom. Mama, yes, Mama,